Hi, everyone. So welcome to class number 7. We'll kind of take a few moments till a few more people come in because I don't know who's coming. If you could tell me who's here. Oh, wait, that's Cindy.
Bonnie.
Look, Renee, you're muted. You just muted yourself. You're muted. Okay.
And there's Release. Can you hear me?
Renee?
Hi.
I can. Hello.
I no longer can see mommy on my screen. I see everybody. I wanted to see just mom.
Mayor, can you hear him?
Yep, you're spotlighted again.
Okay, good. Are we good? Okay. So today we're going to make lasagna. Does anybody have any questions that they want to make sure get answered before I finish?
Renee, can I make a comment, not a question?
Always.
So I loved your review of all the spaghetti sauces, and I went to Ward's to get the noodles and ran into a fellow member of the class there looking for the noodles. But I wanted to tell everybody I found a local product called Yo Mama's, and I got it because sodium 130 milligrams.
This is a tomato sauce?
Yeah.
Yo Mama's tomato sauce, and it's a local product. How did I miss that?
Maybe it's on the shelf today. I just got back.
Turn it off?
The hood light while you're not there.
Okay, turning off the hood light. Cameraman wanted the hood light off. Well, thank you for sharing that. Terrific. So any other questions, comments, concerns? It's still kind of bright here. I don't know what anyway, whatever.
Oh, Renee.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Suzanne, and I wanted to mention that Aldi's now has grated Parmesan and blue cheese, vegan. It's
No
called
kidding.
salad toppings. Let me show you the box.
Cool. This is Aldi's. I never go there because every time I go, I've gone there in the past before the pandemic. There's one person at the cashier, and I have to. And right now, at this point in history, I'm not standing around waiting in line.
Well, they're so busy now. They have more cashiers and all that, but it looks really nice. I've not tried it yet. I just bought it today. So,
okay, cool.
And they have tofu now. And they have their cheese, their cheddar. Shredded cheese seems very good. I like it better than most of the vegan cheeses.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Great. So we're going to get started here. A few things that I wanted to say is what is good about this lasagna dish. So first of all, it's very, compared to regular lasagna, it's very high in protein. It's pretty high in fiber and protein. I already said protein, didn't I? You can vary the sodium level. You could get Yo Mama's or I think we talked about this one. Let me see. This one also is just 140 milligrams for a half cup. So that was pretty good. I don't remember where I got it. And it's makes enough for several days. I always like planning for leftovers. This one is beyond the beyond with leftovers. In fact, there's usually so much. It's just the two of us, and I make it in an oblong pan that I actually usually freeze some. So then someday, don't feel like cooking, defrost lasagna. And it's really delicious too. And it depends on what you put in it. I just want to say one thing. I have some of this sauce left. This is a little higher, Newman's Own 470, because the other day I made pizza. And the pizza, it's amazing. I've been married to this guy for 42 years, and I never realized how much he loves pizza. And this pizza is his favorite, I think. I get this Sammy stuff. It's not like certified gluten-free or anything, but the first ingredients are millet flour and brown rice flour. It is got 4 grams of fiber in an eighth of the package and 4 grams of protein. So it's really a yummy crust. You don't have to, make your own crust. So it's really fast. And so I just, saute some, onions and mushrooms as usual, and whatever else, artichoke hearts and black olives and pepperoncini and what do you call them? Sun-dried tomatoes, and just put all sorts of stuff on it. This time I put spinach on it. You can put basil on it. Anyway, and then I just put feta on it this time. I don't even think I used regular
No extra
mozzarella.
charge for additional toppings.
Yeah, exactly. No extra charge for additional toppings. Just tell me what you want. We'll put it on. Anyway, and then you just bake it for like 7 minutes at 400 and voila, it's like really yummy. And this crust is really wonderful. So that's the news. So that's why I have some left over. He's happy. So Dennis, it seems like the lighting is a little, maybe it's that light.
No, no, no.
I don't know what it is. Anyways, I'm a little.
It's backlighting.
It's backlighting.
If I turn off all the lights, you can. be in
Okay,
the
I'll
dark.
be in the dark. Okay, so I guess we can kind of get started. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the tofu ricotta, which if you like, you could always make tofu ricotta like the day before, which I usually do, but I didn't this time because we're going to do it together. So the first thing you need is tofu. And the only tofu I actually have in the house right now is this one from Trader Joe's, which is handy because half, you won't forget, because half of the tofu goes in the food processor and the other half you save for later. So I'm going to take half of this tofu. Let me drain it. You don't have to follow me. Oh, I just drained it on the floor a little. That's okay. Anyway, so I'm going to put that into my, I have, I don't know if you remember my thrusty, I'll move that over so you can see it. This is my small food processor that I got one day. I was helping Katie Fisher clean out her garage and she said, hey, you want this? She didn't know she was giving me one of the best small food processors ever made. And I had it for, I don't know, 15, 20 years or something. So there we go. I'm going to put the tofu in. And then what else do we need? Oh, I just want to make one other proviso. If one thing that I always do when I make lasagna or pizza is I make sure I'm not wearing a white shirt or any other light colored clothing because you get tomato sauce on it and it's over. So if anybody wants to go change their clothes right now, go ahead. So yeah, so that's I'm a klutz. I'm kind of messy. And let's see, we're gonna just make this thing. So we have the ricotta. We also are gonna put in there nutmeg. I like buying the megs, which are these. This is what nutmeg comes from. But if you want to use already ground, I think there we go. That is a nutmeg, and this is one nutmeg that was already started a bit. So I'm gonna take this nutmeg and I have a microplane. This is good for grating these things. It's just, you've seen these before. And I'm just going to grate it right in there. And you know, people want me to measure things out. What does it say? A quarter of a teaspoon. Okay, I'll be good. There we go. I'm going to grate this. Oh, that's a lot more than a quarter of a teaspoon. I get carried away. So let's see, we have a half, we have a quarter. Well, maybe not so bad. Okay, so there's our quarter and the rest of it, I'm just gonna, there we go. Okay, and then I believe also the olive oil, which I forgot to get out. The olive oil, once again, I just want to tell people I buy this olive oil at let me see, Falafel King. It's like from Beirut or something like that. Lebanon, yes, it's from Lebanon, and that's what I like to use. Notice it's like really green, and we're supposed to put in 3 to 4 tablespoons. Of course, I'm only going to do 3. I'm not worried about getting enough fat in my diet, but it makes it nice and creamy. Oh, whoa. Hands. Okay, and then it's going to be noisy for a moment. If I can find the cover, here we go.
Maybe you might want to mute.
You guys might want to mute for a moment. I know Dennis has his fingers in his ears now, so. That's good. So what are we going to add in? We're going to add in a little bit of garlic powder. this is not really, didn't really come in this. I buy my spices in bulk. So, and it does say just an eighth, I believe, but I'll just use like a tiny bit, a half of a quarter. You don't even get an eighth of a spoon here. Okay, there we go. And let's see. Oh, this is the best part. Nutritional yeast flakes. So you're supposed to use a quarter of a cup, and I do have a quarter cup measure here, but I want to say a few words about nutritional yeast. The brand, this of course did not come in this, but this is this yellow flaky stuff that tastes a little like cheddar cheese, and it is phenomenally healthy. I think I actually wrote down somewhere. Oh yeah, Red Star nutritional yeast. There's lots of different brands, but the one I believe that's in bulk in your bulk bins, like at Ward's, is the Red Star. And 1.5 tablespoons has 60 calories, 30 grams of sodium, 3 grams of fiber, and 8 grams of protein. Plus, it has over 100% RDA of almost all of your B vitamins, plus over 1,000% of your vitamin B12. So people are always saying, where do vegetarians get their B12 from? Because B12 is only in animal products. Well, this is specially grown nutritional yeast, and it's got, voila, like tons of vitamin B12. So I'm going to put in my quarter of a cup in here. Close it up. And then we have our mushrooms. So I'm going to put in the mushrooms. I had pre-washed stuff, so you don't have to follow me this time to the sink unless I forget something. And this is approximately 4 ounces. This was like half of an 8-ounce box. I normally buy my mushrooms in bulk, but I was not at a place this week that sold them. So I just bought them at Publix or wherever I was. Oh, I think it might have been Ward's. So there we go. But if you want to buy things in bulk and not have to, buy all those little plastic containers locally here in Gainesville, Earth Origins and Whole Foods sell both portabellos and shiitake mushrooms in bulk. Just going back to the yeast for a moment, sometimes it looks like it's really expensive. It's, I don't know, $10 or $13 a pound, but the stuff is so feather light that you get an enormous amount for, $1. You get like a whole lot of, so it really isn't that expensive. So did I get everything in? We have the tofu, the olive oil, the nutmeg, the salt. I didn't add any salt. I'm not going to add, well, I'll add like a sprinkle of salt. I'm certainly, well, it says salt to taste. That's because the original recipe said a whole lot more, so I didn't even want to say it. Oh, one more important ingredient, Italian seasoning. I am going to, this is, again, I buy this stuff either in bulk or in the case of Italian seasoning, I have bought it, my spoon is wet, so I'm going to use a clean, regular spoon. Excuse me. I buy this from Frontier Co-op, and because I use a lot of this stuff. So that's approximately a teaspoon, and I'm going to put that in. Any questions so far? Are you guys keeping up with me? Am I too fast? Okay. What did I do with the cover? Sorry. Okay. So once again, Dennis, put your fingers in your ears, and we're going to stop for a moment and give it a little stir around and see how we're doing. There's like a few recalcitrant mushrooms here, but it's pretty good. I'm going to do another just half a minute and then put it elsewhere. Hold on a second. Okay, good enough. And then I'm going to take the other half of the tofu, which was handily divided for me by Trader Joe. And without stabbing myself, I'm gonna get it out of its little packaging here. So I have a question. Did anybody here in town go to the showing of Invisible Vegan, aside from Verlisa?
I did.
Was that-
Renee, Suzanne,
Suzanne, how was it?
it was
What'd you think?
good. It was really good.
Okay, you want to tell people just a little bit about it?
Well, it was about, wait, let me turn this down. It was about this Black woman who had difficulty becoming vegan, it being Black. You know, she was just talking about how the culture and all is not very inducive to be, you know, she grew up with fried chicken and the family, you know, eating it, and they really didn't accept her eating vegan food. So it was all about, you know, pretty much how she had to break through those kind of barriers, but it also brought out a lot of all the benefits of being a vegan, and she's gotten her friends and a lot more people interested in it.
Cool.
And I guess Art Phoenix helped her with, you know, she was involved some way, you know, knew this woman who did it. And she had all these nice vegan snacks she made. So it was
Cool.
good.
Great. I didn't go because I don't go to indoor events, but I had heard about it quite a while ago, and I think Kim Williams, who is the past, he's African-American cardiologist, who's the past president of the American Cardiology Association, or whatever, you know, that or professional organization is called. I think he spoke in it, and there's a woman named Tracy McWhorter. I've met them both at the PPOD conferences. There are these conferences called Plant-Based Prevention of Disease. So it has this adorable acronym, PPOD. And both of Tracy McWhorter is a public health person in the DC area. And
Right, she was in
she's
it.
big. Anyway, so I think they were both featured in the film. I'd heard about it before. And I know they're both excellent. Anyway, so meanwhile, while Suzanne was talking, I mashed up this tofu. And now I'm going to add the mix, our tofu mix, to it. Just enough. And let's get a spoon here.
Renee,
Yes, ma'am.
my tofu mix looks like chocolate.
You might have used too many mushrooms.
I well,
Chocolate ricotta. Hey, you know, they have chocolate hummus. Anything goes.
I know, but I used portabella, the big flat ones. Is that what I was supposed to use?
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it doesn't really make a difference what it looks like. How to mix it up with the other stuff and see what it tastes like.
Yeah, it tastes okay.
Good. That's what counts. Once it's in the inside of the lasagna, you're not going to see it.
What kind of mushrooms did you use?
They're just baby bellas.
Oh,
It's not, I'm sure they taste the same. I don't know about the color, but once you mix it up with the other tofu, it'll get lighter, because the other one is just plain, you know, white tofu. So I'm just mixing this up. This tofu is different than the one I usually use. I don't know. It says it's
silky, firm, soft?
it says it's extra firm, but I usually just use the regular tofu. I just happen to have this one in the house, and it was handily divided. So this is what our ricotta looks like. It does look rather brown today. It's usually a little whiter, but I'm not particular. Oh, Dennis, very good. Thank you. So everybody have your ricotta? Easy. So normally what I do is I just kind of cover it up and save it for later. And I'm going to put these things out of the way so we can.
Do you make it ahead of time, a day or so?
Yeah, like usually Friday nights, we eat lasagna like every other Friday night. Well, except for the ones where we have pizza. And and so I, you know, and there's a lot to do on Fridays. So I usually make the tofu ricotta if I have time the night before. And then I just put it in the fridge. And then the next day I do the part that we're going to do now, which is the making some veggies for the to go inside. I do the veggies and the sausage. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up an onion. I'm not going to use this entire onion. This is like when they say jumbo onion, this is who they're talking about, right? Okay, I'll probably use like a third of this. You could use as much onion or as little onion as you like. What do you think of that? There we go. Okay, and then I have these, onion containers, but I don't, is this guy gonna even fit? Oh yeah. They'll make it fit. As we say from Word Perfect, make it fit. Okay, so young people don't know about that. It's always been Word, but we're old Word Perfect people. So I'm cutting up the onion, and remember, keeping your fingers out of the way. And what do I do with that other little knife? Here it is. Okay. I'm going to take the skin off, and then try, this is the only time I would ever do it towards me, very carefully. We haven't bled yet, any of these classes yet. So fingers like that, so that you're, proper knife technique. And I also want to tell you that today I'm wearing closed-toed shoes, which is one of those things, if you've ever worked in food service, closed-toed shoes, because several times this week I have indeed dropped a knife on the floor and missed my feet. So, but it doesn't, you can't always be sure that's going to happen. So, and as I've mentioned before, I have broken all my wrists, so your technique may be a little ergonomically different. So there is our onions. I'm going to get a bowl to put them in, to transport them over there. And let's see, I have to decide what other veggies to use. I think I'm going to use an eggplant. I was at the farmer's market this week, and they had Japanese eggplants. This one is sort of looks like halfway between a Japanese eggplant and a regular one. I'm just going to cut the, and eggplant, you want to make sure your eggplant is well cooked. So I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces, and I'm going to cook it like right after the onion. Eggplant is not one of your top 10 veggies nutrition wise, but I just really like it. And some people have trouble with it. Avoid it because it is a nightshade along with peppers and tomato sauce. But we already have enough tomato sauce in here. There's going to be enough. So normally I would start frying the other stuff, but I'm not going to, because then you have to follow me back and forth. I would like start the onions, and then I would, just time wise, and then I would cut other vegetables while they're sauteing. But for the purposes of this class, but I am going to go put them over there by the stove. We'll get that far. And then debating whether to use zucchini or not. I think we're going to use half a zucchini. I pre-washed my vegetables, so I'm going to be ahead of you time wise. But okay, so we'll use half a zucchini. Compromise, right? And the zucchini, I'm not that concerned about it. I mean, it is going to also bake in the oven, so I'm not that concerned. But you do want kind of bite-sized pieces in a sauce, because you don't want to deal with big ones. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to push those to the side. And then I found this. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's like spigarella. It's some kind of Italian spinach, a green. It's lovely. I'm going to get another bowl here for the zucchini to get them out of the way. You guys don't need as many bowls, I'm sure, but I do. Oh, some of that nutmeg got in there. Haha. Okay, so this is, does anybody know I think it's called spigarella. And I'm just going to cut off the leaves and cut them into small pieces. This again, I pre-washed. So did people find their noodles? Were able to find lentil and or chickpea noodles? Did anybody have a problem? It's quiet out there. Okay. The spinach will cook down, but I'll cook it in the thing because this is thicker than usual spinach. So I will want to like steam it just a wee bit.
Can you use spinach in lieu of that if you don't have that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't have any spinach, but I usually the way I plan my meals is I go to the farmer's market and whatever they've got, that's what I use.
So any, just about any green, like kale, is
Yeah,
that?
you could use kale too. I would probably, if it's a thicker green, I would, cook it a little bit beforehand. Although, it is going to get baked, but if like I wouldn't use collards in there, although if you steamed them enough, probably would be a different kind of flavor. I definitely would not use mustards. Sharp, So I would probably want to take these greens and cut them up, get everybody to lie together here. Excuse me. I might have to have a drink. So I'm just going to do some of them at a time, just to make little pieces so that when you're eating your lasagna, you're not like, Lady and the Tramp with the spinach. Yet another bowl, but they're not getting very dirty, so the cleanup won't be terrible. So, okay.
Renee, do you know anything about the potluck coming up, or are you going? The vegan potluck?
They're having a vegan potluck. They may have told me.
Is that-
the one at Zia's house. Yeah, I think it's limited to like 20 people, and it's indoors in her house. So I.
Oh, it is inside. Oh, I thought maybe it'd be outside.
Going. So, yeah, we just. I didn't even go to that nice concert today at Heartwood because we'd gone to the last one, and there was 3 people wearing masks, and we were 2 of them.
Yesterday.
And yesterday they had another concert, the Dylan Fest. We went to that last tango one, and I personally know people who 2 days later had COVID, who had been at the concert. They probably had it beforehand, and infected a bunch of people who they hugged and sat shoulder to shoulder with. So no, thank you. Okay, spinach is over here. One more thing that I'm going to add in here, and that is this. This is a sausage. I'll show you the original packaging. This is the Trader Joe's soy chorizo. We have talked about this in previous classes, but not everybody's been here. And I must say it is high in sodium, 660 milligrams in 1/3 of a cup. This is probably two of those. But when you consider that it's over the course of this large lasagna.
It's Trader Joe's, but does it have another name of what kind it is?
Soy, what's this?
Soy chorizo.
It says soy chorizo, and it's like over there, if you're at our local Trader Joe's, it's over there by the hummus and the tofu.
When you first come in on
When
the
you
right.
first come in on the right. And Dennis loves this stuff. He puts it on his bagels. I put some on the pizza the other day. No, I didn't put any on the pizza, but yesterday I made a tempeh scramble and I used some. It gives it's like a spicy, usually we use it like as a condiment. I probably could use less, but I'm not gonna. So anyway, so that's the stuff. It has a plastic casing, and you just take off the plastic casing and then voila, I will put that in a minute. So Dennis, we're going to the stove.
Renee,
Yes, ma'am.
it's Bonnie. Can I offer an alternative? This has 180 milligrams for 1/3 of a cup. It's probably not as spicy. I have tried that chorizo from Trader Joe's, but this is
Yeah, which one do you have?
Smart Ground by Light Life. I got this at Ward's too.
Yeah, usually those have gluten in them,
Oh,
and so I don't use them a lot. Yeah, there are some other good products, but if you're trying to avoid gluten, then that's not going to work. So, and there are what?
how would the gluten be listed?
Oh, look at the ingredients.
Well, I'm reading them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get back
Yeah.
to you.
And there's another thing that I sometimes use is the what are they? Is this Beyond Beef sausage? I'm gonna put that back in the freezer. And this one has 2 cooked patties. That's 270 milligrams. That's a lot less. And 2 cooked patties is enough for this dish. So you could get away with a fraction of the sodium. Dennis has something to add. Yes.
The purpose, I think of it as a condiment, not as a food. So the spicier it is, the less you have to use.
This is true.
And the chorizo, when it first came out, was very spicy. And now they've toned it down. So you got to use more of it to get the spice.
Okay, so I am going to, we're gonna go over to the stove. I'm gonna throw this zucchini back in the fridge. And I'm gonna have to put on this light. And I'm not gonna put on the thing, okay? Dennis, we're going to the stove. So I'm going to use my olive oil and heat it up. Okay, turning on the stove. Should we open the window at all?
Yeah.
Probably.
Or
I'll
the
open the
door.
window.
Okay.
Okay. Normally, I have a gas stove, and normally I put on this fan, but it's very loud, you wouldn't be able to hear me, so we're taking one for the group here. So I put in about a tablespoon, maybe a little less of olive oil, and basically we're just gonna cook these things up. So wait till that heats up just a tiny bit. And while it's doing that, well, I'll tell you something else in a minute. There we go. I never have patience for oil to heat up. Look at that. It's got this great lighting. Okay. There we go. So if you have making a dish that requires you to cover it up, I hate using foil, especially with tomato products, because it's going to leach into your food and it can't be good for you. So I just, where is it? I'll be right back. I just want to show you one of my latest toys, which is this. I'm going to take this one away, which is I got a casserole dish that has a glass cover. And the last time I made lasagna, I actually made it in the dish, and then I was able to cover it like that. But I made something else in it too. Anyway, so it's a covered casserole dish, but it made a very deeper lasagna. So anyway, just, it's a hard item to find. I could not find an oblong one with a cover, except like a, very fancy ceramic thing that was a dubious food quality ceramics. So this is going to be pretty boring. We're just sauteing, or you guys sauteing, and there you go. I'm going to get the over here. Just get these a little soft. Let me go look at my notes and see if there's anything else I wanted to say. I think I got it. And then I'm going to add some oil and add in the eggplant. Because eggplant you want to have pretty well cooked. I think uncooked eggplant is actually not very healthy for you. But I think I may have shared with you one time that the Nutrition Action newsletter listed like rated vegetables, whereas greens are like 5-star vegetables. They're high in all these different phytochemicals and, vitamin C and vitamin A and all sorts of groovy things. Eggplant is not. But on the other hand, eggplant has this purple skin, and that has anthocyanins in it. So purple things are good, like blueberries and so there we go. Move this over a little bit. This is going to take a while. I guess if you wanted, you could actually do this part in advance as well, and then just put it in something, and the next day assemble your lasagna. So there's a rumor that Jeffrey Weisberg is going to be doing some kind of class, not a cooking class, but sort of a I assume it's gonna be online, some sort of advice for stocking your vegan pantry, etc. If I find out about it, I will send you all the link. It was in the wake of the movie that they showed this past week. So. Any other questions or concerns? Anything nutrition you always want to know, but we're afraid to ask?
Since you asked, that pan, I do not have one of those nice iron pans like what you're using now.
Yeah, I like it.
But I have a stainless steel fry pan, and I have a what do you call it? Where it's you don't need to put oil in it.
Yeah, I also have like a non-stick one, but
Non-stick.
this is, you know, they say that for vegetarians, if you want extra iron in your diet, if you cook a tomato sauce or something in here, it'll give you a little bit more iron. But I like them because, I mean, if you want to cook some, they're just, you know, indestructible basically if you take good care of them. And the other thing is it's great exercise, which is why a lot of people my age don't use them, because they are very heavy to pick up. But and I also have two other smaller ones, you know, graduatingly small. So I like cooking in cast iron. So I'm gonna put the zucchini in.
Well, you also have gas, which is
I have gas, but that, I don't know
excellent.
for how much longer. It really is not, you know, we all used to think that gas was the best, and now we're thinking induction. Because the gas, as I told you, normally when I cook, I turn on the fan and we open the window before I even turn on the gas, because it's a household pollutant. I don't remember what the nasty things were about it. Do you remember, Dennis? Anyway, I mean, it's bad for your lungs and all that stuff, and I have bad lungs to begin with, so yeah. See what I mean? I could have been cutting things up while the other things were cooking. So in terms of time management in the kitchen, you know, if you're not teaching a class, that's something you can do. It really doesn't have to take this long. This stuff is beautiful. Mozzarella. Put some things away. And where's the cover to my olive oil? I always clean as I go. Like normally I would just keep washing my dishes now from the prep. And then, you know, then afterwards I just don't have much to do. This morning we made the tofu pancakes, and you know, while the batches are cooking, I had everything all cleaned up before we sat down to eat, except for the dishes we were eating off and the pan I was cooking in. And then let's see, what am I going to do here? I don't want to use the Braggs. I think I'm going to use, because I don't have any wine open again. Again, I have some.
I'll open one.
No, it's okay. I have water that I saved from cooking vegetables. So if I want to just steam these things just a wee bit, which I'm going to want to do because of the spinach. So now I'm going to put in the chorizo, and I'm going to just sort of chop it up so it gets a little bit sauteed, and mix it in with the other stuff. I think it is a lot of chorizo here, but
You need more than you used to.
I think it's more, yeah, it's more than I usually use. And then I'm going to put in the spinach. This is going to be a lot, but it's okay. Can't have too many veggies, right? And then I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid over it, which you may or may not need. You just kind of stir that in. I'm going to put the cover on. You could also use like coconut aminos or Braggs, I used Bragg's the other day and I was not happy because it made everything taste just too salty. And there's like, I think everything's salty enough. Maybe a tiny bit more.
You're getting plenty of salt from the chorizo.
And plenty of salt from the chorizo. Okay. And then look at that lovely glass cover so you can see what's in there. And then I'm just going to turn it down for a second and let it steam a little, and we're good. We're good to go. Okay. So, and then the other thing about cast iron is once you turn it off, it continues to cook. So I'm turning it off. Okay, so say goodbye to it because I'm just going to leave it there for a minute and turn this light off. And we're going to go back over here and we are going to start assembly. I can get rid of this. Okay, so if you look at your little cheat sheet on how to do this, voila. The first thing we do is you put a little bit of tomato sauce. You want to open your tomato sauce. If you don't know how to open your tomato sauce, if you're having problems with can, I always rinse the tops before I open things. And then just go like that to open it. But of course I didn't. My hands are all gooey. Voila. So that one's open, but I'm going to start with the one that I had already opened last week. Are we good? Okay. Everybody ready? Assembly time. So the first thing you do is just put some tomato sauce in the bottom. I'm gonna just move it around a little bit, cover the whole area, kind of like finger painting. Okay, and then I am going to use my green lentil noodles. For those of you who may just be tuning in now, the other possibility that I had suggested was these chickpea noodles. Just for the record, these chickpea noodles, well, we're going to use the whole container. So 4 servings per container. So a 2-ounce serving of this stuff has, where is it? Ha. 2-ounce serving. This is very confusing the way they do it. Has 13 grams of protein.
It says it in big print on the front.
Oh, it says, okay, very good. I wasn't looking at the front. Okay, and this one says, no, 20 grams of protein and 3.5 ounce. You got to remember when you're comparing items, you have to make sure your serving sizes are the same, or you have to do the math. So this one actually, but we're using the entire thing. So, and they both are, I assume, 8 ounces, correct? They're both 8 ounces. So anyway, so 2 ounces of this. See, the 2 ounces serving is your standard size for a pasta, like whether it's rotini or whatever. They always have to give you the 2-ounce amount. So the 2 ounce of this is only 11 grams of protein, but this one has 4 grams of fiber. Anyway, so it's good stuff. And this takes up less room in your cabinet. And it looks like little green sheets. So that is my lasagna noodle. And I'm gonna just put them in here in a way that there's going to be so many layers that it doesn't really make a difference what orientation you put them in, because eventually.
Are they pre-boiled or how?
These are apparently these you do not have to cook, and nor the chickpea ones. As I mentioned in my follow-up email, the jovial ones also you didn't have to pre-cook, but in the past I've had like the tincata, I think, lasagna noodles, the rice ones, and you did have to cook those. I'm going to go like that, so we'll be in the right location. So, and then I'm going to put on a little bit more of this tomato sauce. And in order to get some out of the, I'm going to add a little, oh, you know what? I can add some of that vegetable water. Where did it go? There we go. See, leftover vegetable water, good for making your quinoa and getting your tomato sauce out of here. And having a little extra liquid, I think, is a good idea because, so your noodles will definitely cook in here. So I'm going to go like that. And I'm going to just move it around a little bit. I think I'm going to need some more tomato sauce. You just sort of want to cover it up. But I am going to use some of the other one, which is a lot more liquidy than the Newman's. maybe that's how they, anyway, whatever. Then next thing I believe is we start putting on our ricotta. Let's make sure that I'm doing it the same way they tell you here. Tomatoes, half the ricotta. Okay. Okay, so here's our ricotta. Remember him? And actually, it's a her. Antonia. Okay, so I'm just gonna smear this stuff around. You guys with me? You got, it's just fun building your own lasagna. I think that's about half, and then I'll just try and get it more or less. And then I could bring that stuff over here. I think I'll bring it over here so you don't have to move back and forth. Where? Here we go. I'll put this little trivet out. Present from a fellow dietitian, of course. This is going to be heavy. I'm going to use 2 hands. Ta-da! So we brought over our veggies. And I had a large spoon out for it. I did have a large spoon out for it. I'm going to have to go find a large spoon. Okay. And I'm going to get half of this stuff. Oh, it looks really lovely now. Even we left it alone and everybody cooked the zucchini, the spinach, everybody looks happy. Okay. And then we're just going to take about half of that, layer it over. It's hot. The original recipe called for a cheese sauce, but I thought it was superfluous, actually. Okay, that's lovely. You can, if you want, put some cheese on it now. So, yeah, I'm not going to bother with any. I'll do a little bit of cheese. See, I vacillate, and I forgot to take my cheese out. My parmesan. Okay, so I'm going to do just a little bit of this just to make it, you know, it's nice to have a little cheese kind of pull feel. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this. Yeah, you can do it or not. But this is the Trader Joe's version of like Dia or BioLife. And what's you have to be, if you're actually want to be vegan, they have other cheeses there that are not vegan, but they say they're lactose free, and they actually have casein in them. So they have almond ones. So you just got to watch, you know, depending on what you want, make sure you're getting what you want. I have been fooled.
What you're using vegan?
Pardon? This one's vegan.
Yeah.
It's usually made with cashews, coconut oil, potato starch. I wouldn't call it, does have yeast extract in it. It has 0 protein, 0 fiber. I would not call it a health food. It's just sort of
Condiment.
a condiment. Okay, so now we are going to put on another layer. What I usually do is save for the final layer the ones that go, you know, vertically. But I'm going to go like that. Got to make sure I save enough. And then I just sort of crack this up to fill in the blanks here.
So, laying tile.
Laying tile, yeah. It doesn't have to be an exact thing, because if not in this layer, it'll be in the next layer. Okay, so now we are putting on more tomato sauce. You could put on as much or as little as you like. I'm going to be a little conservative here because I want to make sure I have enough for the top layer for this. Sometimes I use an entire 2 jars. Sometimes I use 1.5 jars. So it just depends. And then we're going to put the rest of this stuff on. Just plop it on. Plop, plop, plop. try and, get it around here. We're gonna have a great dinner tonight, man. Let me tell you. Good stuff. Looking forward to it. Okay, I gotta use all of it. It's a lot. Okay, if you wanna really get it all, you use a little spatula. No ricotta left behind. So you see that you get protein in this, not just from the noodles, but also from the tofu. And also if you're using some kind of faux meat that has, protein in it. And every little thing has protein in it. Okay, so next we are going to use the rest of our veggies here. Move that over. It's hot. Did anybody subscribe to that green eco letter from the Washington Post lady? Anyway, I did. I find it useful.
I did not, but I intend to do it as soon as we sign off here.
Yeah. So I'm going to put this back on the stove. It's very hot. I'm going to use something to get it out of my way. That's one thing about these cast iron pans. Pardon me. Chop my strawberry here. There we go. Okay, so we're back in business here. Gonna even it out a bit. It seemed like a lot of vegetables, but now it doesn't really seem like a whole lot. And the last thing we're gonna do is almost lost my noodles. Okay, we can use up all of these now, and we're just gonna. Oh, I am low on noodles, but you know what? I must have done something wrong here. I have a noodle from a previous time. Pretty sure. Ah, there it is. Sometimes it takes all the noodles, and sometimes you have like extra noodles. I don't know where I went wrong. Because I shortchanged on noodles. Okay. There we go. And then I had a little bit of noodle left. Boy, that was handy. Just okay. Now for our final thing, I'm going to use the rest of the tomato sauce. Hopefully it's enough. We'll do again. We'll do a make it fit. I'll add a little bit of this to get it all out. If I have to, I'll open up another jar. But I think I'm going to open up the other jar because you want to make sure there's enough covering your lasagna noodles that they actually cook, because you don't want to have hard little lasagna noodles. So for our final one, we're going to try Fresh Market. This was only 330, not too bad. We rinse the top. There we go. Let me get these guys out of the way. Out of sight, out of mind until we gotta wash the dishes later. Oh, this is a very dark looking tomato sauce. I just want to point that out. But I did get it because it's lower than the, oh, this is going to be very interesting. I think this one was a garlic thing. Okay, that should do it. Ample. Oh, that's like perfect. And look at it. I like the dark red. Every tomato sauce is a little different. And some people make their own, but I haven't. I've been lazy. Okay, what did I do? Oh, you got it. It's okay. It's really okay. It's not covered to 100%. There we go. So now I'm going to, just for to be pretty, we're going to put some of this on. And then the coup de grace I did not preheat my oven. I'm a bad girl. I'm gonna preheat my oven so that we can have dinner at a reasonable time. 400 for this stuff. Okay. And the chickpea, I noticed, I gave you incorrect information, but if you have the box, you have it right. The chickpea was 375 for the same amount of time, 35 to 40 minutes, I believe. So, and then I'm not going to put feta on it this time because we've had a lot of feta lately. But I am going to take this stuff, which I really like. This is the BioLife Parmesan. I think I don't know if we used it ever before. Do you guys know what this stuff is? I think I have an unopened one since I'm near the end of this one. And this is BioLife Parmesan, which I really like because it comes in a block. You can get vegan Parmesan already shredded, grated, whatever. But this one, I like it. It lasts, because I don't use that much. And it just lasts like you would a regular block of Parmesan. It lasts a long time. And I'm going to use mine.
Where do you get it?
I've seen it all over. They even sell it at Publix, but you can certainly get it at Whole Foods and I think Ward's and definitely Earth Origins. It's another BioLife product. So I'm just grating some parm on the top. And look at that. We're almost at 6 o'clock. Voila. We won't make any cheese or great jokes, please. Okay. I think that's good. Enough? Enough. So that's it. And then I'm gonna, when my oven heats up, I'll stick it in and we'll have it in about 40 minutes later. And this one does not require covering. And if, ovens do vary. So if you see it starting to, the noodles curling up and burning, you want to call it quits. And then you can always stick a knife or a fork into it and see if the noodles are soft. But I think if you have enough liquid in there, it should work. So any questions?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Very good. Just one other thing that I wanted to point out, just for some people, just a kitchen thing, is that I get these. It's not a food item, but I get these pop-up sponges at, it's 12 sponges and they're made out of cellulose. So when it gets dirty and disgusting, I throw it in the backyard with my compost. I just want to say that. And they seem like they're expensive. It's like $7.99, I think, for this package, but I'm not using, it's recyclable and it lasts for a while and there's a whole lot of them in there. So I didn't do the math to see how it, normally you buy like 2 sponges. I don't know how much they cost, but this is a whole lot. And it's like this,
What
and
about putting them in your microwave? Is it
I've never have really done that because I don't know. Anyway, it's one of these just add water kind of sponges and then you end up with a sponge that looks like this, so it's a nice sponge and I just put them out in the yard with my compost. So that's it for our lasagna class. Was there anything else I needed to do? If people are interested, I could maybe resume classes at the, in a few months. We'll all take a little break. A lot of people go out of town and it's too hot to cook. We're going to try this new pizza place that somebody recommended near our house that has a vegan pizza. They have lots of other stuff as well. And, eat a lot of salads and not do a lot of heavy duty cooking. So, any questions, concerns?
Bake that for an hour, approximately an hour. At what degree?
Actually, which noodles did you use?
I haven't done it yet. I'm going to use whatever you use there.
Okay, well, it says on the box, I use whatever it says on the box. Okay. Because, and the green lentil ones say 400 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. And these, and the chickpea ones say 375 for the same amount of time, 35 to 40 minutes. So that's what I do. And then of course I test it because every oven is a little different. I usually, after the shorter time, I would check. So that's what I would do. And then this goes really well with a salad or some steamed green beans, or dare I say broccoli or asparagus. You know, just lightly seasoned. So that's, you know, that'll be our dinner. We'll probably have salad.
Okay. well, bon
And,
appetit.
oh, and one other thing I wanted to point out, where did it go? So I have this other product that I just tried. What did I do with them? Oh, here it is. If you are gluten-free and you want a good vegan thing to have a garlic bread, there's this new product. Well, it's new to me. They've just started carrying them, I think at Whole Foods I found this. It's called O'Dough's flatbread. And it is really good with like garlic butter on it. We're gonna have some tonight, so yeah. Although I'm out of the garlic parm butter, but I could make some out of regular vegan butter. So it tastes really good. I've really enjoyed these. Not, again, not a phenomenally healthy product. It's half of one of these has 280 milligrams of sodium and 3 grams of protein. So, and 130 calories. But anyway, they're tasty, and it's good to have things that taste good. And it
Is
doesn't
that
always.
in the freezer department?
Yeah, yes, you buy them frozen. And they have other things that's from the same company, probably. I don't remember if they have bagels, and, you know, there may be some of these at Ward's, actually. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I might have gotten it at Ward's. So you guys have been wonderful. I want to give special thanks out to my web mistress, Mayra, my daughter, and my lovely cameraman, Dennis, for assisting and facilitating this. And everybody who's participated has helped make it fun and wonderful and educational. And I hope that you, you know, if you have any questions at any time, you're welcome to email me. But I appreciate your interest and, you know, climatarians. Whoa, what can I say? So, and the all the videos are, except I think the first or second one, we may not have quite gotten them, but the others, if you go to YouTube and you put my name in, they'll all come up. So you can look at past classes and enjoy. Anything, any last comments, anything?
No, you enjoy your dinner tonight. Thank you for sharing with us.
Okay.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, guys.
It's been great.
Have fun, keep cool, stay safe, wear your mask. The numbers are ticking up there, out there. And I know a zillion people who are vaccinated and boosted who have COVID.
Yeah.
So do be careful and have fun and eat well. Bon
Thank you
appetit.
so much. We're looking forward to eating this.
Oh, good. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. And we did it. It's just